Namaste. I am Chitra Ganesh, a yoga teacher in the Vinyoga tradition, bringing you traditional teachings from the heart. As an everyday person living in the modern world, one may have many questions on how to embark on a spiritual journey. Do I chant a mantra? Do I read a scripture? Or do I leave my family and go away somewhere to meditate? In other words, where do I start? What if I told you these very questions are answered by Bhagavān Śrī Kṛṣṇa in the 3rd chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita on Karma Yoga, the yoga of action. It is my favorite chapter in the entire Gita because Śrī Kṛṣṇa explains the importance of refining our daily actions as a starting point in the spiritual path for everyday people like you and me. The chapter begins with Arjuna the warrior asking Śrī Kṛṣṇa that if knowledge of the self is the ultimate goal, why then should he fulfill his duties as a warrior? Shouldn't he just go away somewhere and contemplate on his divine self? He goes on to say that he is very confused by Krishna's seemingly contradictory words and seeks clear direction. Śrī Kṛṣṇa begins his discourse in the 3rd shloka. He says that he had previously explained 2 paths towards self-realization. The path of knowledge, Jnana Yoga, for those inclined towards meditation, and the path of action, Karma Yoga, for those inclined towards action. This is a very important shloka for us to contemplate upon. A vast majority of us belong to the category of Karma Yoga. We may think that we are ready for meditation and higher knowledge, but the reality is that unless we refine our daily actions and purify the mind, we will not be ready to receive it. It's like how we need to clean a container thoroughly before we can use it to store food. This is an important directive for us to make our daily actions spiritual. An important starting point. But then why begin with action? Bhagavān Śrī Kṛṣṇa says that we as humans cannot remain inactive even for a moment. He says even if there is no outwardly physical activity, there is some mental activity going on all the time. A person who sits down to meditate may restrain the external organs of action, but inwardly the mind may continue to dwell on material objects. Bhagavan says this creates a situation of hypocrisy. He says far better is a person who sincerely performs an action compared to a person who pretends to be ready for higher knowledge. The key lesson here is that we cannot renounce action and hope to receive higher knowledge. We need to transcend action. But won't performing action create bondage by generating good and bad consequences, perpetuating the cycle of life and death? Bhagavan says that actions performed with the attitude of Karma Yoga will not bind. And what is the attitude of Karma Yoga? Bhagavan explains it in the 9th shloka. He says, perform every action like a yajna, a sacrifice, a central concept in our Vedic tradition. He says actions dedicated to a higher altar will not bind. He says perform every action and dedicate it to the Supreme and detach from the outcomes. When we perform action like this, over time, we will purify our mind and rid it of negative tendencies like pride, jealousy, anger, and so on. And because of this, over time, we will be ready to receive higher knowledge and realize our divine self. Here's the bottom line. The path of Karma Yoga will slowly lead us to the path of Jnana Yoga. This was very beautifully exemplified by my spiritual teacher, Swami Nikhilananda Saraswati of Chinmaya Mission. He says, just as a pole vaulter needs the pole to reach a certain height, after which he or she relinquishes the pole, similarly, we too need to start with Karma Yoga. I would like to conclude by chanting 3 beautiful shlokas from this chapter. The first shloka, Arjuna's question. The third shloka, Bhagavan's 2 paths towards self-realization. And the 9th shloka, how to perform each action with the attitude of Karma Yoga. Slowly join your palms and close your eyes. Let's just take a moment here. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Atha Shrimad Bhagavad Gita. Atha Tritiyodhyayaha Karma Yogaha. Arjuna Uvacha Jyayasi Chet Karmanaste Mata Buddhir Janardana Tatkim Karmani Ghore Mam Niyojayasi Keshava. Shri Bhagavān Uvacha Lokesmin Vividha Nishtha Pura Prokta Maya Nagha Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam Karma Yogena Yoginam. Yajñarthat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sanga samachara. Thank you so much for joining me. I am Chitra Ganesh. I will see you in my next video with more traditional teachings from the heart. Namaste.